Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 21 of What If Naruto Got His Memories Sealed Away. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was given a second chance over on Anime King. And later on, I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto was the Akatsuki King. So stay tuned for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And I already posted a new episode of What If Naruto Learned the Clone Secret in the beginning. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last part we left off. Naruto was training himself in the force of death to a pulp, as he had to summon Kamakachi to get out of there, as the toad told him to never do it again, as he would rather not see another spider for the rest of his life. As Naruto collapsed on the floor outside of the force of death, he was exhausted, he couldn't move at all. Earlier, Jiraiya had been informed by Snazzy that Naruto was tense. Yes, he was really tense. As Naruto told Sai to come out and drag him towards the apartment, Sai threw Naruto right towards the door. That made Himako came out, as Naruto cursed at Sai, but he already gone. As Naruto was a bit disrespectful, Shoshi kicked him out and told him to stay outside for tonight. But it was his house. He tried to go inside, but the security seal shocked him and sent him spiraling down to the ground. As Tei came out, and she decided to drag him inside of her apartment, well, for the night. He was totally helpless as he couldn't even fight back if she do this, as she kissed him, surprising him. As she told him that she wanted to do that for a long time now, as she started to make out with him. As he told her to pull off his headband, she was confused but she did it, as a soldier pill from the headband dropped right in his mouth. As Naruto then flipped her over, dominating her. As the both of them started to make out even more. The next morning, Naruto had a kick in his step as he was happy, coming back to his apartment to take a shower. As Himako told him that he needed to work on his privacy seals, because the entire complex heard that last night. Oh, he forgot about that. As he went to the bathroom, Jiraiya was there as well. As Jiraiya had talked to Himako about this, he thought that she would be the one to be with him. But she said that Teiwaya, well, she knew him first. But that doesn't mean that she wouldn't get her a chance. Jiraiya was surprised. She also was going to take a crack at it, as this kid was a gold man and he started writing his notebook. Some time passed as Naruto was going to Kumo with Jiraiya, as they were going to talk to the only man that would probably hear them out, the Raikage, about the Akatsuki. As, on their way, Jiraiya noticed Naruto's state, as Naruto was worrying about everything too much, thinking that he would fail. And what's the point in all that, as Jiraiya punched him in the face and tell him to stop thinking like that. Because there will be no one there to help him in certain battles, but he has to push. He has to rise up above this and become stronger. And stop acting this way, because the other version of him, at least he was never unwavering or giving up, even though he was an idiot. As the group arrived at Kumo, as Jiraiya talked to the Raikage still, yeah, he didn't really see this as a threat, seeing that Naruto was able to handle himself against the Akatsuki and was now living. So yeah, his ninjas could take them out. They were going to stay the night at Kumo before going back tomorrow to inform this to Snazzy. But it seems that they fail. As Naruto was on the roof, Yugito came as she sat down and talked to him. As he was telling her about his fears and all that. As she told him, just push past it. So what if he lose? He was going to be dead anyway, so just fight with everything you have and stand up to your enemies. As her words gave him a bit of confidence to see that she wasn't unwavering or fearing anyone. As she was going off, she was attacked. She led her attackers toward the sewer system. It was Hidan and Kakuzu. The battle really didn't last much long, as she was pinned to a post. But before they could take her away, dozens of Naruto dropped inside, as the real Naruto went off with her while the clones took on Hidan and Kakuzu. She was in bad shape, and carrying her, if he ran the straight way, they would cut him off. So Naruto went away from Kumo to wake her up and make sure that she was fine before doing anything. As Kakuzu saw that, as he told Hidan that they weren't in a rush, so it's time that they hunt for Jinchurikis. So yeah guys, that was basically the last episode left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's start this new episode. It was currently morning as the sun rays shine in the windows. One Jerry after Sunny turned over on his futon as he wasn't ready to get up. As he was sleeping, a faint pull in his mind stirred him from his sleeping. As he sat up in instincts and bit his thumb, as he slammed his hand on the ground, as there was a poof as he collapsed back over. As a small orange toad appeared. Jiraiya, wake up. Naruto is in real trouble right now and he needs your help. Jiraiya shot up as he looked at the toad. What? Naruto? What's going on? He asked. As he looked at Gamakichi. Naruto is trapped outside of Kumo where the Nibi Jinchuriki was injured. Two Akatsuki guys were here to take her, but Naruto got her out of there before they could take her. Get up and I'll lead you back to where he summoned me. Jiraiya face turned serious. Let me get dressed. I'll get out of here. Meanwhile, with Naruto and Yugito, Naruto was currently in one of the safe house of route. With Kurama guidance, he was able to find his way back here. As he was able to do his best for Yugito by bandaging up her body, but she still did need a medicine, as her hands were in bad condition because of the marks and the slashes. It seemed like she didn't have the same healing factor that he possessed. His was a lot stronger, as his wounds have been healed by now. For the past hour, he has been going through his weapons and his ninja tools for when Hidan and Kakuzu found them again. When they attacked, he had a plan to even the playing field, but he had to be fast and accurate for it to work. Because if they knew what he was going to pull off, they will never allow it to work. A change in Yugito's breathing pattern as he looked over. As he released a sign of relief. Welcome back, Yuji-chan, he said. For a moment there, I thought we would lose you. Her eyes flickered over at Naruto. Naruto-kun, she said. What about the two Akatsuki guys? Did you beat them? As you remember what happened last night. Naruto laughed humorlessly. I wish it could be that easy, he said. All I could do was get you out of there. They messed you up, it looked bad. There was blood everywhere. Yugito smirked. Would you believe me if I said that most of it was mine? She tried to sit up, but Naruto pushed her back down. Naruto-kun. He gave her a stern look. You're staying down. You're not me. You don't get over injuries in a flash. You still need actual medical treatment. All I did was patch you together enough to keep you in one piece. She pulled herself up and leaned on the wall next to him. I'm a Jonin and I'm older than you. You're not in any position to tell me what to do. Naruto simply poked her in the side as she yelled in pain. What were you saying? I could hold you down that clone the way you are now. You're next to useless in battle. As she glared at him as he rolled his eyes. The entire point of me showing up in the first place was to keep you from being caught. If you get right back up and fight them again, it was for nothing. Her eyes softened. One of them can't die. All of the blood that you said you saw, it was his. You were right, they are monsters. The one guy couldn't die and the other. She rubbed her bruised cheek. I never been hit so hard in my entire life. They took me on when I was using a Nibi, full power. And that was your mistake, Naruto said. I went 3 tails when I fight Hidan and Kakuzu the first time. It's because it worked on somebody else. But you aren't going to brute force these guys. You have to stop fighting like the demon you carry and start fighting like the ninja you are. When a group of people are prepared to capture demons, you got to think that they were made for this job. And they specialize in what they do after all. So your plan is to, she asked. Well, fight like an elite shinobi with skill, finesse, and control. I'm not going to bully these guys, and I'm going to get hurt to win. A chuckle came from him. That is if I win at all. But who cares? You fought, you lost. If I lose, it won't really matter. Because both of us will be dead, right? Her sweat dropped. That's really dark, Naruto-kun, she said. As Naruto chuckled, without any humor. Battlefield humor, Yuji-chan. All battlefield humor is dark. She pouted as she leaned against his shoulder. I'm still fighting though. You won't. Beat them alone. 2 Jinchurikis are better than 1. And I can't convince you not to, he said. No, I will protect you, she said. As Naruto sighed. Well then, at least get some rest. So when they come here, you can throw a kunai straight. She shut her eyes and wrapped her arms around herself. Just don't hold me back, Naruto-kun. I don't want to have to save you in our fight, she said. Like I just saved your ass, he asked. Kiss my ass, she mumbled. As Naruto's eyes started to close, maybe after we get out of this, Yuji-chan, he said, as he didn't notice a blush on her face. Meanwhile, where's that goddamn brat, said Hidan, as they were on the mountain area. One guy and that Billy Goat passed us, and no one else. Where the hell is he? He isn't running towards or from Kumo. He's hiding now, because he knew if he ran, he was going to get caught. So he's hiding us out. Desperate, isn't he? Kakuzu said that chuckle. Hiding, said Hidan. So how the hell are we going to find him? I mean, just look at this place. Damn it, Hidan said, looking around. As they continue their search across the mountain for Naruto and Yugito, we have to find and capture them soon. It won't take long for Kumo to find out something is amiss, and they find our battleground from our fight with the Jinchuriki. Meanwhile, in the Raikage's office, what do you mean Yugito is gone? He roared, smashing his fist into his desk and pulverizing it. How could someone just get away with her, right under our nose, and none of us was wiser? As Mabe was looking at him, Darui and C found the signs of battles just outside Kumo. However, there was no telling where the attackers went, or where the she went off to as well. The Raikage clenched his fist tight. Who the hell could do something like this to Yugito? And this is terrible timing. B isn't in the village right now. We need to scatter our force and search for her immediately. How could she just vanish? Because my apprentice is with her, said Jiraiya as he cracked the door to the office. Naruto is with her. As A turned a glare to Jiraiya, barely holding back his skill and intent. And you would know this how? It's too much coincidence that the day that you sent me a warning about a group that kidnapped Jinchuriki, minds get taken the day after. Jiraiya's eyes became hardened at the towering Kage. Don't begin to think what you're insinuating. Naruto is keeping her away from the people that tried to take her. He's stuck somewhere outside of Kumo by himself, keeping her hidden until someone can find him. However, if those two find him, then you will be at a disadvantage. He's by himself and plus he's with your wounded Jonin. Then what are we waiting for? Ace said, lead my force to your student and Yugito so we can keep them safe. I wish it was that simple, but my toads aren't much for tracking. And if you couldn't find any trail of them either, it means Naruto did too good of a job covering his traps as he escaped. I can't really blame him though given the circumstances. As A looked over at Mabe, give out the order to send out our forces across the countryside to look for Yugito and Naruto Uzumaki. Stop and question everyone in sight that is traveling in that area. As Mabe nodded and went outside. As A turned towards Jiraiya. How much of a chance do you think they have out there? It depends, Jiraiya said, on whether or not the kid is sick of playing the victim and switch over to an executioner. And for my sake, he better turn into executioner quick or Snaddy is going to castrate me. 2 hours later. Are you done yet, Naruto-kun? This is embarrassing and the ink is cold, as Yugito had her shirt off. Her back turned to him, as Naruto was drawing a seal on her back, one that matched the one that was on his chest. Just hold still, Naruto said, you're lucky I can do this on your back as well, or else I'll be getting a free view right now. Be lucky that I'm not Erosending because he wouldn't have given you the option. Naruto-kun, I don't even know who that is, and besides, we're in something serious here, she said. Oh come on, Yuji-chan, Naruto said. It's just you and me, we're alone in this dark, hidden cavern. You're shirtless, I'm shirtless. We're going to die, more or less. If there's anything you want from me, now's the time to ask, he said, wagging his eyebrows. Fine, she said. As she blushed hard, but at the last moment she changed. What I want is for you to shut the hell up and finish the seal. So I'm not worthless when the fight starts. And stop flirting with me, she said. Sorry, Naruto said, but if you knew who my sensei was, and you knew what he was like firsthand, you'd understand why I'm hitting on you. As Naruto stopped and looked at his work. Alright, this was done with my ink, so it should be super effective, he said. More than usual. Why, she said. She looked over her shoulder to see Naruto slowly making hand signs. Because my blood is a very potent medium for sealing ink, and that is what I put into all of my ink. Now then, sealing technique, store, chakra transfer. As he slammed his hands together, that started to glow as he placed them on her back. The array from his heart that was on his chest faded away as the seal on Yugito's back started to glow bright before dying out. And that should be that, Naruto said, stepping back. You can go on ahead and put your shirt on back. Or not. It's all good with me, he said. She growled at him and put her shirt on back. Pervert, she said. But thanks, I feel like I have all my chakra back. But my hands, she said. It's probably nerve damage, Naruto said. We need to get you to a medic. As he placed his sword on his back and got up. Before he could move off, she grabbed him by the back of the shirt. As she then turned him around and pulled him. As she pressed her lips against his. As it felt like it went on for hours. But it was just 30 seconds. As she broke the kiss. That was just because I want to, okay? Not the last act because I think we're gonna lose. Because this time we won't lose, okay? As Naruto held onto her hands, if it start looking bad, I need you to run back to Kumo as fast as you can. And if I go down, leave immediately. You don't try to get me away, you don't even try to fight them. You run. She opened her mouth to dispute but he cut her off. You run, he said. She saw the look on his face. Okay, Naruto-kun. I'll run, she said. Good. Now let's get this over with. Meanwhile, are you sure this is where they are? Yeah. He tried to hide his clones well, but the rock formation around here is small and flat. There is no rocks like that, said Kakuzu. Hidan started to pray. He wasn't supposed to kill Naruto or Yugito, so he was praying to his lord for forgiveness. Until they heard Earth Release in her decapitation skill, as Hidan felt something grab his ankles as he was pulled underground, leaving his head above ground alone. I was praying to Jashin-sama. How dare you do that, said Hidan. Sorry, Naruto said as he pulled his blade. Before he could take off Hidan's head, he had to jump away from several black threads as the things tear through rocks. He got the memory from his clone, so he knew they were destructive, and he was going to stand right there and get hurt. Putting back Hidan together after Naruto did what he had to do, going to be a pain in the ass, so Kakuzu would rather not. A hole burst out in the ground behind him, as he had to dodge a kick from Yugito. He then had to jump away from several shurikens coming at him. Wind release, violent wind palm. Kakuzu's eyes went wide as the shurikens were changed. The trajectory was changed. Not again, he said. As Yugito went through hand sign, lightning release. Lightning shuriken, she said. Bursts of electricity came down from the shurikens, coming at Kakuzu, but he was able to dodge the attacks. Meanwhile, Hidan twisted and squirmed as hard as he could, but the ground wasn't loosening up. It wasn't soil, it was solid rocks. Meanwhile, Kakuzu dashed forward towards Yugito. Because of her state she was in, she was unable to move past his speed as he grabbed her by the throat, as he picked her up off the ground with one hand. You are very annoying to run down. You know that, he said. Kakuzu had to twist his body as Naruto nearly drive his sword right through him. Kakuzu then raised up his leg and aimed it at Naruto's head, but Naruto blocked it with his blade, but he still pushed Naruto back a bit. Yugito was trying to break Kakuzu's hold on her, but he used his free hand and punched her in the stomach, as she then burst, and Naruto was replaced there, as Naruto sliced off Kakuzu's arm, but the shreds came out and reattached it. Meanwhile, Yugito was coughing, as she was by the rocks with two of Naruto clones. I think he was right about the whole boogeyman of the world thing, she said, as she held her neck feeling the bruise. So that's it, the earth, grudge fear, Naruto said. That forbidden technique. At least I know what to call those threads now. Listen kid, said Kakuzu, we wasted enough time getting Nibe. We're already late, so how about this? You simply let us take her and we let you go for now. We can't see their bitch until last anyway, so we can just say that we never saw you. You don't even need to fight us. Well, I could do that. Some would say I should do that, but I'm not going to. You either take me and her, or neither of us. And either way you're in for a one hell of a fight. I won't just let you have her. Fair enough, said Kakuzu as his skin turned dark, as he launched a punch at Naruto's head. As Naruto dodged a punch and ran at Kakuzu as he slashed, but Kakuzu blocked it with his bare palm and grabbed it. As Naruto tried to pull away his sword, but Kakuzu was holding onto it tight, as lightning chakra then cackled in his hand, as Kakuzu had to jump away, and landed right beside Hidan who was still trying to get up. Kakuzu extended his black threads as they stabbed into the ground. Ow! You stabbed me, damn it, said Hidan, as Hidan was pulled from the ground. That hurt, you goddamn bastard. I don't stab you to free you, do I? Shut up, Hidan. First of all, I never get captured and need you to free me. And if you did stab me in the first place, I would simply tear you to shreds, and then sew you back together afterwards. I'm sick of playing around with these brats. It's time we take them down. Now. Now you're talking my language. Hey brat, get over here, said Hidan as he pulled his three blade sight from his back and swinged it at Naruto. As Naruto started to block the sight with his sword, as he realized the sight was extremely dangerous. As Naruto ducked under it, Hidan pulled his sight back to him with the cord as he blocked shurikens that came from Yugito. As Naruto took advantage of that and stabbed his sword into Hidan's foot, as he pulled the kunai and threw it into Hidan's other feet, pinning him in place. Hidan swatted Naruto away with the pole end of his sight, but he was unable to do anything because he lost his balance. As Naruto jumped forward and started to beat Hidan's face into the ground, but Kakuzu kicked Naruto off of Hidan. Once again I step in to save you, said Kakuzu, as he pulled the weapons from Hidan's feet. and threw them away as Hidan coughed up some blood from his mouth. Shut the hell up, Kakuzu. All that did was piss me off. That punk can't kill me and he know it. All that did was waste his time. As Naruto landed beside Yugito, you feel any better, Yuji-chan? He asked. Well, my ribs are still sore, she said. But I'm okay. What about you? Why the hell does Kakuzu hit so hard? It's like getting nailed by a hammer. As one of Naruto's clones looked over the rock. Boss, you wanna move right now? As the clone did spell so Naruto could see what he saw. As Naruto grabbed Yugito and jumped off. As the entire rock was pulverized by pure flames. As Naruto was looking over at one of the threat creatures. This one looked different from the one that he fought in the hidden sand. It was now 3-on-2. Can you generate any of the Nibi chakra safely? We need some more kick to our attack, Naruto asked. Yeah, she said, but when using all of Nibi's chakra, I can't use any jutsus. Then just don't pull out all of it, Naruto said. Just make these guys sweat at your speed and power, he said. You do get faster when you use it, don't you? As she hit him in the arm. Duh, Naruto-kun, she said. Well then turn up the heat already. We need that edge here, he said. As a tail emerged from Naruto's back, as he took on the red cloak. As a blue aura came around Yugito's body. You ready? Naruto said, as she nodded. Fire release. Flame dragon missile, she said. Wind style. God wind pillar, he said. Meanwhile, the ninjas that were sent out to find Yugito, as Darude was there along with a team. The group then came to a stop when they saw a massive explosion into the distance. Do you think that's her? Darude asked. Well, who else do you know to fire off something like that and pump so much chakra into their technique, said C. Meanwhile, what if Yugito got taken by a cult that worshipped Nibi and wanted to free the spirit and to get revenge on Yugito for imprisoning it for so many years, said Amoy. Amoy, shut the hell up, said Karu. Me and Samui are getting sick of hearing your theories and your crap. You don't have to be so angry about it, Karu, he said. He then perked back up, but you're acting defensive. Is there something you'd like to tell us? Like maybe what you did with Yugito? His answer was a fist to the head. Ow! I'm running out of patience with you. Now focus. Before I shut your jaw for good, she said. Both of you focus, said Samui. The group came to a stop when they saw a rising flame pillar off in distance. I think that's her, said Amoy. What on earth is going on? Said Karu, as the thing exploded into a massive torrent of flames and wind. Meanwhile, the entire landscape was completely destroyed because of Naruto and Yugito combined attack. Naruto coughed. I think we were standing too close to that, he said, as he wiped the blackness of the heat off his face. Yugito coughed as well. Do you think we get them? She asked. I don't think so, Naruto said. I cut one of their heads off the last time we fought, and they still kept on coming. If it was going to be as easy as firing off a big ass fireball, then wouldn't you have been able to beat them alone? But look at this, she said, looking at the burned land. It had to do something. That would have put one of us down for the count for sure. As the group came to a stop to see Hidan, his body was burned badly. The upper half of his Akatsuki cloak was burned and attached to his flesh. As he was shaking, he's still alive? Where's your partner? She asks. You bastards, Hidan says. He threw his sight at Yugito, but Naruto grabbed her and pulled her out of the way. You're both pissing me off. It's getting hard for me not wanting to kill the both of you. Especially you, girlie. We already beat you once. How are you still alive and able to move? That should be agonizing pain, said Yugito. Oh, it is, Hidan said. But you got hit harder than that to stop me. I'm immortal, bitch. You know, I can't die. The punk-ass brat next to you should know better. Yuji-chan, I told you I cut his head off, and he cursed me out and kept on coming. Now, where the hell's your partner to ask? Hidan smirked. Would you believe me if I say that you killed him? Lightning release, false darkness. Yugito and Naruto move aside as a spear of lightning dig into the ground where they were standing. As both of them split apart to avoid that, but the thing split into two and came at them from two sides. The solid form of Kumo mountain range was sliced apart by the lightning bolt. Wind style, whirlwind pyramid, Naruto said. A sudden burst of wind exploded from Naruto's body, stopping the lightning bolt. Hidan flashed in front of Naruto to stop him from going over to Yugito to help. Do you even know any ninjutsu or genjutsu at all, Naruto asked. No, not really. I'm pretty straightforward, Hidan said. You know what you're gonna get with me. As Hidan started to swing wildly at Naruto, as Naruto was blocking as best he could. As Hidan twisted his body and smashed the pole of his sight in Naruto's face, knocking him back. As Naruto had to duck, losing some stray hairs in the process. Just bleed already, Hidan screamed. What do I have to do to draw blood on you? Aim better, Naruto says. His fist collided with Hidan's sight as he tried to hit him in the face. Meanwhile, Yugito was still dodging Kakuzu, lightning attack. How long can he hold this force, she thought. As she speed through hand sign, as she then jumped, the attack came at her, she fired off a lightning bolt that smashed right into it, dispelling the attack. As one of those mass things break from the ground, as black threads came from his body and tried to grab her, but she upped her Biju cloak around her, burned the threads, as she channeled chakra into her mouth. Fire release. Laser beam, she said, as she opened her mouth. A thin, small laser that tear right through the face of the mass, as the thing started to shake, before cracking, as it went down into a pile. You troublesome upstarts, Yugito turned at the voice of Kakuzu. You brats destroyed 2 of my hearts with your last 2 attacks. Kakuzu no longer had on his Akatsuki cloak, he had on a black shirt. As it had no sleeves, you could see the stitches all around his body. The mask was gone from his face to show his mouth, with stitches at the side and long hair. Yugito narrowed her eyes at him. What do you mean 2 of your hearts? Kakuzu turned as he showed her 3 masks in his back. There was a vacant spot, and one of them were a crack. The mask you just destroyed was my lightning heart. And that combination attack you and the Kyuubi brat used destroyed my earth heart. Mask, heart. Yugito's eyes widened. Each one of those masks is a heart? You have 5 hearts? I had 5 hearts before I fought you and the boy. No, I have 3. But that is of no consequence. I will have to replace them once I capture you too. We are in the land of lightning after all. I'm certain I can find a replacement lightning element somewhere. She smirks, so that means you're not really immortal. All I have to do is kill you 3 more times, and then you're dead, right? You say it like it's easy, little girl. Hidan, get over here, he shouted. I'm a bit busy right now, Kakuzu, said Hidan as he carried on this assault on Naruto. This kid is going to get sluggish soon, and then it's game over for him. Naruto scoffed as he kept on dodging Hidan's attack. If you're waiting for me to get tired just like this, you're gonna be here for the next 3 days. Hidan narrowed his eyes as Yugito was coming at him from the side. He had to jump away, but he forgot about Naruto for a second as Naruto smashed his fist into Hidan's face. With the Kyuubi's chakra enhancing his strength, Hidan was sent sailing away, smashing through several stone rock formation. Yugito landed. Good shot, Naruto, she said. As Naruto looked at his face to see a small cut on his knuckle, but he shrugged it off. But Yugito grabbed his knuckle. Did he cut you? Yeah, I must have cut my hand on his teeth when I punched him or something. No, said Yugito. Yes, said Hidan. As Hidan's skin changed, making him look like a skeleton, as a symbol was on the ground underneath him that looked like his necklace. You've lost, brat. Naruto rolled his eyes. What is this asshole babbling about? Nothing is different than it was 2 minutes ago. I have lost and you still haven't gotten a decent hit on me yet? I'm gonna continue to tear you apart, Naruto said. Lightning release. Live wire jutsu. Lightning raced from Naruto's hands as Yugito cried out for him to stop. But the jutsu was already fired off as it hit Hidan, who started to laugh like a maniac. Naruto winced out in pain as he collapsed down to his knees. Naruto said Yugito, as smoke was coming from his body. As Naruto couldn't understand. What the hell was that, he said, as he tried to get back up, but he got sluggish down on his knees. That is how they beat me. That guy over there got my blood, and then he ingested it, and then everything that happened to him happened to me. Naruto glared at Hidan. You think this is going to stop me, you son of a bitch? Hidan licked his lips as he pulled a pipe and extended to its full length. I know this is going to stop you. I owe you a few wounds, brat. As he stabbed himself in the foot, making Naruto cry out in pain. As he stabbed his other foot, making Naruto drop down to the ground. Come on, Kyuubi brat, don't tell me this is all you can take. We're just starting to get acquainted. Sharing physical pain like this helped me get bond with my victims. Don't give out on me yet, okay? Is that the best you got? You talentless piece of shit. I can sleepwalk through this, Naruto said. What the hell are you doing, Yugito shouted, as he was going to get himself really badly hurt. He can't kill me, Naruto said. As long as he can't kill me, he can't stop me. There's nothing that he can actually do to himself to actually stop me. This is where my physical training is going to come into handy. As Naruto dashed forward with tremendous speed, surprising Hidan. But Hidan stabbed himself into his thigh as Naruto dropped to the ground. As Yugito turned, as Kakuzu was smirking, I told him to just let us have you, and we would just leave him alone. But no, he wanted to protect you, said Kakuzu. He brought this on himself. Why would he do that, she thought. I am not even a ninja of his village. Why would he put himself in harm for my sake, if it was a chance for him to live? Oh, that's what I said Kakuzu, hearing her talking to herself. She was talking rather low, but he heard it. He said, "It's either the both of you or none of you." "Now," said Kakuzu, "here, kitty kitty." As she was ready to go full Nibi and try to tear him apart, but Naruto got to her. "Yugito, you remember what I said?" She turned to see him pick himself off the ground. "Get moving already." She shook her head. As Naruto looked at her with a glare, he threw kunais all around, as she had to jump away as well, as some of them nearly hit Hidan and Kakuzu. "What was that? You too disoriented and faint to throw your weapons anymore." "Screw you, Scarface," Naruto said, as he went through hand sign. Lightning release, electric, feel. Kakuzu found himself trapped in a dome of lightning. "You throw those kunais too?" "That's right, dumbass," Naruto said, as he then turned to Yugito. "I am not asking you, I am telling you, get the hell out of here." Tears start to come from her eyes. "You can't tell me that you're just going to give up, that you're going to lose to them here." Naruto smiled weakly. It was never about winning or losing. "Yuji-chan, now go!" She stood in place for a moment before taking off to Kumo. Kakuzu tried to force him way through the barrier, but he got bounced off by electric shock. "So what's your plan, boy? To keep me trapped here? To keep us trapped here? We're the ones that have you at our mercy, not the other way around." "Yeah, you're right," said Naruto. "But I just noticed something. Hidan hasn't tried to run her down yet. That means he can't move from that spot. That is the only way we're linked, right?" "Shut up, brat," said Hidan, as he stabbed himself in his other thigh, making Naruto drop to his knee. "No matter what you two do, there is no way I'm letting go of this jutsu. You both know I have chakra to hold you here as long as I want. Hidan can't move because the second he do, I will unleash all hell on him. And every second I hold you there, Kakuzu, Yuji-chan, get farther and farther away." "You think you won," Kakuzu said, glaring at his electric prison. "You think this is all over?" "No, I don't think I've won. At best, this is the ultimate Starling tactic. But it's better that I'll be the one to be taken than both of us. You said that I'm the last to be sealed, so I have a better chance of getting rescued. And to seal me, you have to recatch Gaara and Yuji-chan, and not to mention B. If you can put him down, then you deserve to take the Kyuubi." "So what you said to the girls at Kakuzu, about how it was never winning or losing." "Yeah, it was never winning or losing. It was about surviving," said Naruto. "And I say we're both going to survive this one, don't you think?" "Hidan, make him drop the barrier now," said Kakuzu. Hidan started to stab at his legs and his arms, trying to make Naruto release a seal, as blood was leaking all over from Naruto. He repeatedly stabbed at his left arm. "Let go of the jutsu, damn you," he said. "You can't keep taking this, no one can." But the Kyuubi was healing Naruto injuries, thanks to Hidan only focusing his arm. "I can take this all day, you goddamn wuss. Is that all you got? All you're willing to do to get me to break? I've taken worse than this when I was 6 years old. Kill me. Go on ahead, you damn coward." "You can't break the jutsu," Naruto said before laughing and coughing up blood at the same time. Hidan started to carve up his chest with a pike to up the ante. "Shut the hell up!" "What's the matter?" Naruto said, blood dripping from his mouth. "Aren't you having fun? Weren't you enjoying this just a minute ago?" "How about you, Kakuzu? You enjoying the show?" Naruto asks. "That's it," Hidan says. He dragged the pike through one of his hands and grinded around deeply. One of Naruto's hands went limp, dropping the jutsu as Hidan saw Kakuzu got free. Kakuzu didn't even waste time. Hidan finished off the brat and captured him. "I'll go after the Nibi." Hidan looked himself over. He had stabbed his arm into hamburger meat, and he could barely even move after what he did to his thighs. But Naruto was looking as horrible as he was. His clothing was intact, but his blood, it was just pouring out like a river. His entire body was soaked, his chest, his hands, his legs. But despite all of that, Naruto stood back up. As Naruto then stretched a bit, finally. That should be enough time for her to give him the slip. "And now I have you all to myself, and you done half the job for me already." "What the hell are you talking about now?" Hidan asked, as his pike was still stuck in his hand. "Kakuzu was a real threat the entire time," Naruto said. "Well, I kept my eyes on Kakuzu the first time we fought. He was the one to watch out for, but you were just a mad maniac, always coming at me blindly with everything. You even got in the way of a few attacks from your partner just so you could hit me. Alone, you are nothing. We will see how much shit you talk after I carve you a new hole to speak out of," said Hidan. As Hidan reached down to pull out the pike, but Naruto was already in front of him as Hidan's eyes went wide, driving a fist under his chin. The both of them were sent sailing back in rock formation, breaking on top of it. The good thing for Hidan is that the punch dislodged the pike from his arm. Naruto picked up himself as he coughed up blood. a smile still on his face as blood was pouring down him like a river. "You little bastard," Hidan said, "this isn't over." But in his mind he knew if he didn't get back in the circle he was going to be over. This punk kid is still standing after what he did to him. What was this kid? Just what was he made out of? As a black outline came on Naruto's lips, as two tails emerged behind him, a wicked laughter could be heard as he took off with tremendous speed. Hidan didn't even know what hit him, as he was grabbed roughly and smashed into the ground. One of Naruto's tail grabbed his sight and threw it away. As Naruto grabbed Hidan and threw him up in the air, as Naruto then jumped up and smashed his face into Hidan's face, Hidan smashed into the cliff wall. Hidan pulled himself up though out of the rubble. "Is that all you got? I'm immortal, you bastard." "It doesn't matter." Hidan's eyes went wide as Naruto was behind him. Slash. Hidan's head dropped to the ground with a thud. "I'm still alive. I'm going to tear your throat out with my teeth," said Hidan. As Naruto's shout went away as he walked over, feeling the strain now. "I wonder if I can get your bounty if you're still alive. It should still be good, right?" Hidan stopped cursing long enough to look at Naruto with curiosity. "What are you saying?" Naruto pulled out a storage scroll. "I'll kill you," Hidan said, "you demon fox bastard. This isn't over as long as I'm alive. I will never rest until I pierce your heart. I'm going to watch you bleed out in front of me and I'm going to savor it. Do you hear me?" Hidan asked. As Naruto simply smirked as he stored Hidan's head in the scroll, as his body was over there unmoving. As he released a sigh as he dropped to one knee, but he pocketed his blade as he went after Kakuzu and Yugito. The fight wasn't over yet. Yugito hadn't turned back since Naruto told her to run. If she had turned back, she would have gone back to help him, and she figured that going back would have pissed him off more than anything she could have done at that point. Her coils were burning as she kept on pumping Nibi's chakra to go towards Kumo. The two fights had really done a number on her. "Yugito!" She came to a stop. "See?" she shouted out loud as she deactivated her cloak and collapsed on her hands and knees. C, J, and Darui came to a stop around her. "Darui, kneel down. Yugito, what happened? Who have you been fighting the entire time?" C turned her over on her back. "She needs medical attention. She's badly beaten up." "Mystical, palm jutsu," he said, as his hands started to glow green. "Akatsuki tried to kidnap me. Naruto is still back there fighting them. Someone needs to help him," she said. Darui looked confused. "Naruto? Who's Naruto?" As Jay realized who he was talking about. "You mean that kid that came with Jerry after Sanin, right? The Jinjulike? Him. He was helping you fight? And let you get away?" As Yugito nodded, as C looked at her and snorted. "Why would we go back? Why would you risk our necks helping a Konoha ninja? We already have you back. He's not our allies. For all you know, he was just fighting with you because it was convenient to him." She narrowed her eyes. "He was the one that saved me in the first place. He didn't even have to get himself involved. He was the only reason that you guys were able to find me and the only reason I'm alive right now. And you are going to help him?" she said. As C nodded. "Better him than you. What does it matter? This way Konoha lose their Jinjulike. They probably brought him here as a force or something." "Get off of me," she shouted, as she pushed him off as he cancelled his healing jutsu. "I'm going back there to help Naruto-kun," she said. "You three can sit here with your thumbs in your asses if you want." As Jay went to stop her, "Yugito, you're still a mess. He didn't get to do much. You can't just fight again." "Yeah, C didn't have to be such a bastard about it, but why are you risking your neck for this guy?" "Why?" Darui asked. "Because he did it for me. Can't you see that? Do you not see the picture here? There was no incentive, no reason for him to find me and get me away, but he still did. He saved me, despite everything. Twice now. I will not just leave him to die. Well, isn't that sweet? It looks like the Kyuubi Jinjulike lit a fire under you, Nibi Jinjulike." Yugito paled as she immediately turned Nibi's chakra cloak back on. "Kakuzu? Where is Naruto-kun? What did you do to him?" "Me?" Kakuzu laughed. "Nothing. Hidan probably maimed the brat to put him down. You know, that kid is something." He stood there and took slashes all over his body, digging into him over and over just to let you get away. And here you are, standing. His sacrifice was wasted. "Screw you," she said. Kakuzu simply smiled as his black thread started to open up his body. "You are here for a try little combination jutsu a while ago on me. I think I'll return the favor. Fire release, intelligent hard work, wind style, pressure damage." "Get away from him now," she said. "Far away." As the attack came in furiously, the others didn't have time to get away as Yugito had to explode in her full. Nibi mode to block the attack. At the end, she dropped back down to the ground, cinched in a few places. Did Yugito just lost? C asked. Daru gritted his teeth. She took the hit for us. If we weren't here, she would have dodged it. But we couldn't have gotten away too fast. Damn you, said C, I'll finish him myself. As he went through hindsight, ignoring Daru and Jay to tell him to stop. Lightning illusion. Flash of lightning pillar. An extremely bright light came from him that blinded Kakuzu. Kakuzu shut his eyes, he snapped out his arm. C was grabbed roughly by the throat. A lightning element, said Kakuzu. You will do good for now. Sentry rush, said a voice as Kakuzu's hand was teared off. As C jumped back over towards his friends. As Jay looked at him, are you alright? Yeah. Who was that? Asked C. As Naruto stood there, as his gauntlets were on him, with the blade sticking out of it. What? You were able to finish Hidan? How exactly did you get here so fast? Flashback, Naruto was running to try and catch up with Yugito. As he saw 3 people up ahead. I hope they're not Kakuzu's mask. I can't deal with them right now. His eyes went wide realizing who they were. Hey, Taru, Amoy, Samui, he said. Amoy looked Naruto over. What happened, man? Looked like you lost a fight to a kitchen knife. I mean, God, what happened to you? He asked. Well, I haven't lost yet. Anyway, what are you guys doing here? He asked. The Raikage ordered us to scour the area to find Yugito. We saw that massive explosion some time ago, and we were going over there. Damn, so you haven't gotten the order to return yet. That means she's still out here. I need to go. As he started to walk out, but Karu grabbed his hand. Hey, wait! You know where Yugito is? You saw her? Yeah, I told her to escape from 2 people, while I held them in place. But one of them ended up getting away. So, I have to go and find her before anything happens. As he held up his sword, I really hate using this thing, but I'm not catching up any other way. Millennium release. Primary materialization, he said. The sword dematerialized and reformed as the gauntlets. And the gloves over his legs. What on earth just happened? Samui asked. Naruto shook his head. No time to get into details, he said. Yuji-chan took all back to Kumo, so you probably missed her, or came from another mountain range. Follow me or the trail attack carve out, Naruto said. As he took off in top speed, carving the ground as he moved. Damn, Amoy said. He's fast. End of the flashback. Don't worry about that. Let's finish this once and for all, Stitches, Naruto said. I'm sick of looking at your face. About that, Kakuzu said. As he sent 2 masks to attack. C, Darui, and J. Well, let's do this one-on-one. I don't need anyone attacking us. And interrupting. Well then, let's do it, Naruto said. As Naruto blurred away with pure speed. Kakuzu was surprised because he hadn't seen the kid move so fast before. As Kakuzu had to jump away, but a long tear went through his stomach. But his black threads were able to sew him up quick. As Kakuzu sent a large wave of threads towards Naruto, but Naruto started to spin his body. As he started to move like a blur, you couldn't even see the blades, as all the threads were ripped to pieces. It doesn't matter, kid, I already finished off the Nibi. Once I defeat you, the both of you are done for. As Naruto was panting heavily, he was already dipping into Kaiu's chakra because the sword was sucking his own. Meanwhile, the wind mass generated the wind and blew away all of them as Darui flipped away. As the mass moved towards C and Yugito, trying to capture her for Kakuzu. C rolled Yugito out of the way as he was going to take it up on his own. Lariat, said a voice, as the mass was crushed with a powerful force. Raikage-sama, said C. As A looked over his shoulder to see Yugito with them. Good work. Now where are the fools that thought taking Yugito was a good idea? As J was still on defenses, as the mass was chasing after him as he fired off a flame jutsu. But it seemed like the flame was diverted and sucked away. Fire sealing method, said Jiraiya as the fire was sucked into it as he closed up the scroll. It looks like we were able to make it, Raikage-sama, said Jiraiya. As the mass started to charge up again, but Jiraiya poofed away in smoke. Rasengan, the real Jiraiya said as he teared right through the mass, destroying it. As Raikage looked over, his body exploded with lightning. He was going to kill that man over there. Raikage, let Naruto finish this fight himself, said Jiraiya. He did this much by himself, I want to see him finish it off. A looked at Jiraiya. We could just end it ourselves. There is no need for the boy to be at risk any longer. He has proven himself this far as staying alive. He needs this, if only to prove to himself that he's capable of defeating these people. Meanwhile, Kakuzu smirked. What now, he said. Are you finally giving up? As Naruto slammed his blades together, his gauntlets. As Kakuzu heard a noise but nothing happened, he slammed them together again. Kakuzu simply smirked as he sent his thread toward Naruto, as Naruto knocked the blades together once more, before slamming his hand down on the ground. Kakuzu, thinking that this was an earth jutsu, jumped up in the air. Scale of total exhaustion, said Naruto. It was then a sound came out of the ground that hit Kakuzu. The thing just sapped him of all of his energy, as Kakuzu didn't know what happened to him. Along with the others, except for Jiraiya and the Raikage, the others felt their energy being sapped. What is this sound? I can feel my chakra leaving my body, said A. I would guess that much. But if we're feeling it out here, I can only imagine what that enemy is feeling down there, right at the heart of the sound. Meanwhile, Kakuzu was leaking blood from his ears, eyes, and mouth. What the hell are you doing, he asked. His threads start to flicker before dropping down to the ground. As Naruto smirked, still bleeding but smirking the entire time. This jutsu take the fatigue that I have accumulated in comparison to my full capabilities and saturate the air with that sound. Anything that get caught in noise get the same amount of drain that I've used in a battle to my full reserves. Kakuzu's eyes widened. He had no same reserve as this boy, and with only one heart. He had been fighting all day long. This was bad. You brat! As Kakuzu went down to one knee, how can I be beaten by a punk kid that is barely out of diapers? Naruto's eyes and his ears were bleeding, but he pulled himself over there. Because this punk kid has been trained to kill people like you since I was able to read and write. Now what do you say we end this, Naruto said. As Kakuzu willed his threads to get up, but they were barely shaking, not even moving. As he pushed with all of his might, as Naruto held out his hand as a Rasengan form. As Naruto launched himself, Kakuzu tried to pull his thread up, but only a few of them went up, as Naruto Rasengan ripped through them like they were butter, as Naruto Rasengan was a hot knife. As Naruto drove the Rasengan into Kakuzu's chest, his heart exploded on impact inside. As the both of them collapsed forward, Jiraiya smiled. What did I tell you, Raikage? It seems your faith in the boy was right. As Jiraiya saw Naruto walking over until he collapsed. Meh, he's fine, Jiraiya said. Come on, kid, walk it off. You're blowing my wise teacher moment here, Jiraiya shouted. As Naruto smiled as he was on the ground. As the fox said, alright, he's back on the list. As Naruto simply smiled. He did it. He killed Kakuzu. But this is where this ends, guys. You can also go ahead and check out What If Naruto. Learn the clone secret in the beginning and enjoy that, guys. And also What If Naruto was given a second chance and enjoy it as well. I'm not going to be posting What If Naruto's Osushi King until tomorrow, so just stay tuned for that. I'll post it early so you guys can enjoy. But for now, Motive here. See you guys soon. Peace.